What's up, my beautiful, diverse American people? It's me, the good JD, George Dallara. For those that don't know me, I want to be your next president, and I want to start off by thanking every single one of you. And that's why I love every single one of you. Because thanks to you guys, thanks to you sharing my words and the words of independent voices across the country, throughout the world, who support independent voices like myself, independent Americans. And just, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, because believe it or not, without help of the oligarchy, without their recommendations, promotions, just you guys sharing, we've reached over close to 1 million people, well over 500,000, and getting close to 1 million views all over from Americans like you. And let me tell you, the support has been overwhelmingly positive. So for that, I gotta thank you guys. You see that I'm not monetized. I'm not looking to make money off of this. I'm doing this out of love of country and love of you guys. And again, I'm George Dallara. I wanna be your next president. I'm not a billionaire, not a millionaire, not a politician in any way, shape, or form. I'm not a communist, not a socialist, not a Democrat, not a Republican, not a libertarian, not a Marxist. I'm only a fucking American who knows that we can do better and absolutely knows that we deserve better than the beta boy bitch cowardice and ignorance that we are seeing and we are experiencing. Dictators throughout history, autocrats throughout history have weaponized fear and the guise of making you safe to impose dictatorship. And if a city wants help, they're more than welcome to ask the federal government for it. But help means resources, means funding, means the assistance that they need to fund, feed, educate, empower that community, because crime rises out of necessity. Crime rises out of despair. Crime rises out of mental illness, out of decades and decades of disenfranchising communities and neighborhoods and people based on color. Which brings me to the sad development that just proves that we are no longer under love and intelligence, but only ignorance and hatred. When the Supreme Court okayed human beings being hunted by color and language, which is essentially what they did. So yo voy a hablar en español. Cada vez que vea un policía, cada vez que vea un mamalón de esto, le voy a hablar en español nada más para que me oigan. Cada vez que vea una congregación de blancos, voy a hablar en español para ver qué me dicen. And for those that didn't understand, every time I see a police, every time I see a group of white people, I'm going to purposefully speak in Spanish. As a free American who can speak in whatever fucking language I want to. And just because my intelligence is capable of managing multiple languages, I'm not gonna allow beta boy bitches to minimize that brilliance in any way because of their incompetence and inability to process intelligence and process language. So I don't give a fuck what they say. I'm sorry. I'm George Dallara. I want to be your next president. And yes, I have cojones to use the language to rile up the rubes. And I'm not going to let them change the founding fathers' vision of a nation based on freedom, because that was their only purpose. A small group of talented men, writers, scientists, artists, a shoemaker, a cobbler, wrote a Dear John letter to the biggest army on the planet, run by a beta boy bitch king, King George. They wrote him a Dear John letter telling him, bro, you ain't right. We want freedom. And that's what my words say, that we are a nation of freedom. Not a Christian nation, not a nation of white supremacists, even though the architecture is absolutely that. So that's why I'm going to come in and do things different. All right? I am not a billionaire, so I cannot go do what American presidency has become, which is something that you buy. I'm not tiptoeing around bullshit anymore. We don't get presidents elected. We have rich people position themselves to buy the office of the presidency in the United States. Because if it were a true we the people, people like me, people like you, could run for president. And that's what I can't do. I cannot buy the presidency. And that's why I thank you guys. And that's why it takes a grassroots, zero to hero, which is what I am. I'm not going to question that. I'm not going to let them think any different. I've been chewed up, spit out, and destroyed by the country I love. Yet I want to be its president. I want to be your president. I want to be the first president ever to come directly out of we the people, because we've never had one. The closest was Abraham Lincoln. And Abraham Lincoln said, that I repeat in every video if you've ever watched me, the people are the rightful masters of both the courts and the Congress, not to overthrow the Constitution, but to overthrow the men who would pervert our Constitution. And we see a daily perversion of our Constitution, because let me tell you something, the oath that a president takes says that you are to protect the Constitution. And this beta boy said that he doesn't know if that's his job, that he has the best lawyers to make that determination. If his job is to protect the Constitution, and shows why they don't respect our Constitution. They do not respect our laws. States like Missouri, I hate to break it to you, beautiful, diverse people of Missouri. I hate to break this to you, but you are no longer in a constitutional democratic republic. You're not. You're not. The second that your beta boy bitch governor overturned the will of the people, overturned your votes to govern your lives, the second they did that, your state was no longer qualifies as a democratic constitutional republic. It's not. It is a beta boy bitch autocracy led by followers with zero leadership, just followers. Thank you guys. I see you coming in. God bless you guys. I love every single one of you. And I'll start calling you out because I love you guys. So thank you. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for listening. And most of all, thank you for sharing the words of independent Americans, individual voices of freedom that they don't want you to hear. The oligarchy is not going to promote independent voices like myself. And I love you guys. I love you guys. I love every single one of you. And that's why we need a president directly out of We the People. Hey, it doesn't have to be me. I'm willing to take that enormous challenge, which is rising from zero to president of the greatest country in the world, the greatest nation, the greatest democracy ever created, built on Native American values, built on Christian values, built on Greek values, built on the intelligence of the time that they put together a document to grow with us. And the three words that they put bigger than everything else was not a sentence starter, was not to make the document look pretty. It was because they knew that the power and strength would be in We the People. They put those three words bigger for a reason. The reason that they want to gloss over. The reason that they are fighting every day to take away that power from you. Because Missouri has already taken the power away from the people. The people can vote for anything they want. Doesn't matter. And now they're going even further. Now they're raising the threshold. So if Missourians get enough signatures to do something that they want, that we the people want, that the people of Missouri want, they can't just get a majority. They have to get every county to get a full majority to just get things to be voted on by the people, because they don't want democracy. They want dictatorship. And some of us older, wiser people, we've seen it before. We warned you about it. Last time it happened wasn't that far away. Not that far from American shores, not that long ago, when the last group of morons, MyHeritage, followed a slimy, Russian-admiring politician, a Russian ass licker, and lost their country, their freedom, and 66 plus years later, long after the dictator has been dead and buried, the autocratic dictatorship continues. Because they've been sold the bag of goods that Cuba is communist, that Cuba is socialist. Bullshit. There is no social development in Cuba. There is no communal development in Cuba. Cuba is an autocratic dictatorship. What my grandfather used to call la ley del embudo, the law of the funnel, wide at the top, narrow at the bottom, and now they're choking off that little bit that's dripping out at the bottom. So it's going to take we the people. There is nobody in Washington today who can change the path of this nation into the democratic nation based on freedom that the founding fathers envisioned. They're all complicit, both sides. Both sides. Because the American presidency is purchased, is bought. We don't elect presidents. We have the illusion that we elect them. Let me see over here. Selfish Pro says Republican registration is up, Dems losing. Of course, because ignorance and hatred is up. That is not a surprising stat. That is not an enlightening fact. When ignorance and hatred is funneled and fueled, Republican grows. The party of ignorance and hatred, in the golden age of ignorance and hatred, is going to get boost in registration. And where is this? In Arizona, 3 points in Nevada, 6 points in North Carolina. You're talking about ignorance. These places that have been relentlessly destroying education for decades upon decades, alongside white Christian churches preaching ignorance and hatred as Christian godliness, created this generation, this epidemic of ignorance and hatred. So I don't give a fuck about Republican registrations. I don't give a fuck about Democratic registration. I'm not either of them. I'm an American. I don't give a fuck about your beta boy bitch barking, because that's what that is. Oh, registrations are high for Republicans. That's barking. That's beta boy bitch barking. What are you doing? I'm trying to tell you that I want to be your president. I have the cojones to stand up here, a brown, poor, marginally intelligent, marginally successful, marginally educated, marginally successful man, telling you that I want to be your next president, your best president, because I will be the first president to directly represent each and every one of you by DNA. Because my blood proves that I'm white, black, Latino, Native, European, African, Central American, South American, Middle Eastern, Iberian. I am you. I am the American people. But here's the problem. And here's the problem, that a lot of you do not want a president to make your life better. We've seen it. We're seeing it. Some of you are enjoying young teenage girls being attacked on the street by masked armed men. You enjoy that because you've given up. You didn't want a president to make your life better. You wanted a president to make the lives of others worse. That's what you wanted. That's what you voted for. And I can tell you that I understand you're probably not going to support someone who's about freedom, about democracy, about fairness, about equality, about diversity that God put into everything. Because the healthiest ecosystems on the planet are all healthy because of their diversity. Be it a river, a stream, an ocean, a forest, a stream, a drop of water. Its diversity is what makes it stronger. So if you think that an army that only speaks English in a global world that speaks hundreds of languages is a strength, you're a fucking moron. You're a fucking beta boy bitch moron. And I'm going to build the most diverse, powerful army the world has ever seen. So we understand the world around us. Not make beta boy bitch assumptions based on fear and cowardness. That's the difference. Leadership through love and intelligence instead of beta boy bitch cowardice and ignorance and hatred for fellow Americans and humanity at large. And the biggest fear of all that they have, our beautiful women, our mothers, our sisters. That's why I'm going to build a cabinet of women. Just to terrify the beta boy bitches and put them in their places. Because everything they're doing is about control. The attacks on the vote, the cheating, because I'm not going to use the R word to describe what should be a process done after census to reflect changes in population, not because beta boy bitches want to cheat. So that is for control. The governor of Missouri said it, that they want to control. They want to make sure they control their power. That's dictatorship. I don't know how else to explain it to you guys. If you want to instill absolute control, that's dictatorship. That's autocracy. That is not American democracy. Because in American democracy, everybody gets a word. Everybody gets to put in what they want for the consideration of the democracy. Because I keep saying, even the document, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution are democratic documents. Evidence in the fact that they put in things that they probably all were in agreement with. Like assigning percentages to human beings. I'm sure there were some that said, no, absolutely not. Everybody's equal. This is we the people. We are all equal. Doesn't matter who you are, where you can. And there were some who said, no, I own property. I own slaves, and and they're not equal to me. So they had to come up with a compromise. That's democracy. Both sides coming to an agreement in the middle. That's democracy. That's why I say I'm a middle-of-the-road American. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a libertarian. I'm not a socialist. I'm not a communist. But you know what? I'm going to tell you something that Americans have been avoiding and don't seem to understand. We live in societies. We live in communities. Okay? So the words socialism and communism, just because they have commune and social in it, doesn't mean that they're the horrible, destructive things you think they are. Yes, the extremes are absolute horror. Horror. They are. But in an educated, advanced society, you have to have community guidance. You have to have community programs. You have to have social programs. Because you live in societies. Because you live in communities, you fucking dumbasses. So this fear-mongering is just ignorance and hatred. So I know especially because I'm part of hundreds of groups, and I will share my videos through hundreds of groups, all types of people, all types of communities, Latinos, minorities, Republicans, Democrats, Independents, liberal. I share my words everywhere as far as the algorithms will allow me. So the overwhelming response is great, just like you guys. Just like you guys. I love you. I love every single one of you. And we are the American people. Franklin Roosevelt said, the governance is us. It's not a president. It's not a Congress. It's not a senator. We are the governance. And that's time for us to return our nation to the Founding Fathers' vision of a beacon of freedom and democracy for the entire world. Not a small group of people, not only white people, not only rich people, not only Christians. They put we the people bigger because they knew that the power and strength of our nation was in we the people. So now let me tell you, and I gotta say this from the bottom of my heart to my brown brothers and sisters out there, be careful. Be careful because the Supreme Court has allowed you to be hunted. They put their a racist, bought and paid for stamp on you being hunted because of your color skin and your language. So I say speak a lot of Spanish. Háblenle todo en español. Wherever you go, hablen en español. Especially you American-born citizens like myself, that they gotta kiss our asses. Because my father served in the U.S. Army. All right? And I served my country, risking my ass, going into places to do the work of the American people, unarmed, where beta boy bitch law enforcement wouldn't dare go in. That's what you call leadership. Putting others before yourself. because they're all real tough with guns and masks, weapons of war on American streets. And to my brothers and sisters in Chicago, this is not normal. If they do this, you are under an invasion, not help. If they wanted to help you, they'd send you billions for you to hire police to create the programs for mental health, to help the people. Because crime comes out of despair. Crime comes out of hunger. Crime comes out of mental illness. They didn't tell you how many veterans they picked up on the streets of Washington. There you go. There you go. See, they have no language. Deal, SKJ, Trump. I'm a beat a boy, bitch. Trump is the best. They got no vocabulary, no language. That's the maximum that they can contribute to how long have I been on here? Almost 30 minutes or more. Trump with exclamation points. That's the extent. That's all the language they can muster. Because they're beta boy bitch cowards. I am exercising freedom of speech, something that is under attack by your beta boy bitches. They don't want freedom of speech. They don't want people like me to be heard. That's why the algorithms damp down and shut down content from people like me. That's right, I fought for it. That's right. And I will continue to fight for it, and I will continue to speak out against dictatorship, against ignorance and hatred. Because my government, my leadership will be fueled by love and intelligence. Trump is not democracy, buddy. I'm sorry. You need to read a book. You need to read a book, buddy. Sorry, Theo. You must be Cuban. Theo, you might be Cuban. You might be of Cuban descent. You might be of Cuban descent. Love it or leave it. Where am I going to leave to? The Bronx? How beta boy, bitch? That's all you got. That's it. Where am I going to leave to? The Bronx, motherfucker? Manhattan? That where you want me to leave? Because you are the invader here. My people, brown people, have been on this land way before you ever been here, the old SKJ beta boy, bitch. So where am I going to go to? I'm going to go here to fight for my country, to fight for the freedom that the Founding Fathers envisioned in a nation of freedom for everyone. Liberty and justice for all. These brilliant men, detailed, deliberate men, if they wanted a white nation, they would have named it the White States of America, the Anglo States of America. If that was what they wanted, if that was their intention. If they wanted a Christian nation, they would have named it the Christian States of America. If that was their intention. It wasn't. They wanted a nation built on freedom. That was it. That was it. Freedom. Freedom. That was their only purpose. And that is what is being attacked. Freedom. It's not about crime. They're not doing it for crime. They're doing it for control. They're doing it because they want to cancel the midterm elections. That's what all this is, to say that the crime is so bad that he has to stay in power. They got to cancel the elections to make them safe. That's what every dictator has done. That's what Castro did. That's what Putin did. That's what Hitler did. It's a playbook. And I'm going to throw that shit out. I'm going to prosecute every single one of them. So if you're in an AG, and you got cojones, you're the kind of leader I want. Garrett McFarlane, whatever the little bitch name was, fucked up. His cowardness created this. So we're not gonna do that. I'm gonna do things different. We're gonna do things different. We're gonna lead through love and intelligence. I'm gonna have a cabinet of women surrounding me. And I'm doing this, and I'm going a little longer today because this might be the last video that can actually do this. That they won't shut down just for the things I'm saying, just for my pro-freedom, pro-democracy stance against beta boy bitch, cowardness, ignorance, hatred, and dictatorship. I don't give a fuck Kamala lost. I don't give a fuck. I'm not a Democrat, dumbass. I don't give a fuck Kamala lost. I'm angry democracy lost. I'm angry freedom lost, bitch. That's why I'm angry. Because I still remember the America that was actually actively loving each other, bro. We were trying to love each other. Didn't matter who you were. Didn't matter the color of your skin. We were all in a melting pot and we acknowledged it. We knew it. See, there we go. Filter comments similar to those flagged by our community. There you go. Because the oligarchy doesn't want voices of independent freedom being spoken. So I love you. I love you, little Tio Siskabaji boy. I love that you love Trump. I love you. I love you. I love you, bro. I love your passion. I love your toxic fanaticism. And I've seen it before. I still remember people, the stories, because I was too young, but I remember the stories of people coming to our apartment in New York. Everyone pretty much reciting to a T the horrific harmony that Fidel was going to make Cuba great, and urging my family to follow him back because Fidel was going to make Cuba great. Fidel was going to make Cuba great. They would leave rent-controlled apartments in New York. They would leave dry cleaners, markets in New York, in the Bronx, to go back to Cuba because Fidel was going to make Cuba great. So I understand your toxic fanaticism. I understand it. I bet you read at a second or third grade level because I can see from your answers that you cannot put a sentence together. I love you. God bless you. Continue your passion. Continue your passion. But I guarantee you, I'm going to prosecute him. He will pay for his betrayal of the American people. He will pay for stealing and grifting from the American people. And you will make it possible. Your fanaticism. We know. You know 2 words, MAGA and Trump. Congrats. We the people, ladies and gentlemen, God bless you all. God bless you all. I'm George DeLata. I want to be your next president. I'm not a billionaire, not a millionaire, not a career politician. I'm a regular, middle-of-the-road American just like you. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a libertarian. I'm not a communist. I'm not a Marxist. I'm not a socialist. I'm a fucking American. Period. Deal with that what you want. I know you guys want to put little boxes and you got to put things in little boxes and exclude any kind of intelligence that goes against the grift and the indoctrination that you've accepted into your hearts, into your lives. It's okay. There are more of us than you, MAGA boy. Trust me. More people in this country have more in common than differences. And beta boy bitches love to fester the ignorance. So we're not gonna fuel that. We're gonna fuel that. So again, about the solutions, just so you guys understand the difference in concept. My solutions to the border and immigration. Instead of threatening universities and using beta boy bitch tactics to take their funding away and they make up nonsense and you're anti-Semite and all the stupid, ridiculous reason that they're using to take funding away from our leading institutions, I would ask them to build training and education centers at the border. Because people come to this country for the opportunity. The border is quiet right now and nobody is coming running from dictatorships and autocratic rule. They're not running from that to go run to autocratic rule and dictatorship. So that is the reason nobody's coming to the border. It's not because of law and order. It's not because of the president. It's because of the ignorance. Because the opportunity is no longer there. Freedom is no longer there. So they're not going to go to a place that has no freedom. So we're going to change that. We want talent. I want the talent. I want what made this country the leader that we've been in innovation and talent and music and art. And we've been the fuel for everything innovative that has come out of the world in the past 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, because of American ingenuity, American innovation. So that has been the immigrants who brought all that talent and all that innovation into this country. So we're going to ask the colleges to train, educate, and like that we can vet whoever's a criminal. We can kick them out, lock them up, do whatever we need to do, and not throw blanket crime on people just looking for opportunity. So that's just one solution. The problem with law enforcement and community policing and crime. The problem we have with law enforcement is that law enforcement has been scraping the bottom of the barrel for 50 years, 40 years. Even though they did things to improve the pay and make things better for, applicants, it's still picking the bottom of the barrel. I'm not saying everyone. There are great police officers. There are people that go in for the right reason. But there's a lot of them that were slapped around, beta boy bitches, who got slapped around from middle school all the way through high school, couldn't get a job, weren't smart enough to go to college, so they had two choices: join the military or become a police officer. And they're there. We saw them at Uvalde. 60 of them. Shitting their pants, peeing their pants in cowardness while children were being slaughtered. None of them had the balls, the cojones, to do anything. Because they didn't get the orders. They were waiting for orders. Because they're beta boy bitches. So to solve that problem, we're going to have the best people who graduate have to serve a year or two with their local police departments of their hometowns. That doesn't mean they have to be in cars. They got to be strapped up. That means that they're going to work with those police departments in their capacities. If they're mental health professionals, they're going to go and work with mental health profession in that city, in that community. If they're lawyers, they're going to go in and work with the law enforcement and go in and work with the police so they can see what they're dealing with. And these young people who later can turn into criminals, like they say, they're born to be criminals. We're not going to give them that opportunity. We're going to bring them into education systems and training systems, so that they become parts of their community in a positive way. That's another different idea on how to fix the problem of crime. Because crime comes out of despair. Crime comes out of ignorance. Crime comes out of a lack of opportunity, out of hunger. That's what creates crime. People don't set out to be a criminal. I'm going to go out and become a bank robber. Yeah, I'm sure there are demented minds that think that way. Like right now, a politician in Texas was asked why they were, insisting on cheating between census and redistrict and do all the cheating that they're doing. And he said, because we can. Because we have the advantage and we can, and that's why we're going to do it, because we want to. And I said, damn, that's how pedophiles think. That's how criminals think. That's how rapists think. Because they have the advantage, they're going to do it. That's who they are. That's why they're protecting the pedophiles. They are pedophiles. They are rapists. They are sexual predators. They are predators, period. And we've seen them. We've seen what they do. We've seen it with Arkansas. They're dying. The Arkansas, the farmers are destroyed. They're just wiped out. They're about to lose everything. They overwhelmingly voted for the devil, and now they're complaining about the heat and the fire. Because they overwhelmingly supported ignorance and hatred. Because again, I say it, they did not vote for someone to make their life better. They voted for someone to make the lives of others worse. And karma's a bitch. Karma's a bitch. So go ahead, Trumpy boy. Continue. I love your passion. I love your fanaticism. Toxic as it may be, misguided and ignorant as it may be, I love you, and I love your passion. So God bless you, brother. God bless you. God bless the American people. We the people. That's it. And it's up to you guys. I'm George de Lara. I want to be your next president. Hablo español. I understand 4 different languages on top of the 2 that I speak fluently. I know 6 computer languages. My DNA shows that I'm white, black, Latino, Native, European, African, Central American, South American, Iberian, Caribbean. I am you. I am the American people. I am that diversity that they fear. I'm 65 years old and I can still hit a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. A moving target, not a standing still little ball on the floor. So you want to talk about excellent DNA? That's it. I can paint, I can draw, I can sing, I can dance. I can sculpt. I can speak multiple languages. And I can think outside of myself for your benefit. I'm not interested in wealth. I'll say that from the beginning. Take that however you want. The $400,000 a year salary that the president gets, to me, is more than enough. It is the best motherfucking job I've ever had. And I'm gonna work for you like it's the best motherfucking job I've ever had. Which you're not getting that right now. You're getting a beta boy bitch stuffing their pockets. And whatever is left for you, well, good luck. Because it's governance fueled by ignorance and hatred. Beta boy bitches who fell ass backwards into wealth declared themselves geniuses. And you dumbasses believed it. And we're seeing the results. We're seeing the results. Oh, the stock market is in America. Go to the supermarket and tell me you can spend $20 and feed your family. You can't. It's impossible. And they don't give a fuck because they've never gone shopping. They've never had to feed their family on $40 and cover 2 weeks. They've never raised kids. They've never had to deal with the day-to-day stress of paying your bills. So we need an American who's lived that. We need someone who literally understands that. And that's why I say I don't think there's anybody in Washington who should be our next president. And I'm not saying there aren't great politicians. There are great politicians. There are great leaders on both sides. Now, I will need their leadership, guidance, and support to put our country back on the track that the Founding Fathers envisioned of a nation based on freedom and opportunity. And we're going to continue to bring in people from all over the world to bring their talent into this country. Because white ignorance has never created anything. It's only stolen. We need the creativity and the diversity that the world has contributed to the American melting pot. That's why we achieved greatness. When we were great, we knew that we were the melting pot of the world. That's when we were great. When we were working on actually loving each other. When the president left a surplus instead of constantly creating deficits and deficits upon deficits to pad their pockets and feed the rich, because that's all that's happened. So I'm gonna get the advice of those nations in the world who live in peace, who use love and intelligence to empower their people, not to criminalize their people and create slave labor. Because even the 13th Amendment, yeah, it freed the slaves, but it also, if you read the language carefully, says that once you're in prison, you no longer have freedom. So that was just a tool that they worked around. And then prison became the new slavery. And that's what these private prisons are doing. That's what Alligator Alcatraz is, and some beta boy bitch judge kind of said, no, wait a minute. We want to continue to terrorize and destroy human lives. So don't close it down yet. Because it's governance of ignorance and hatred for fellow humanity. So we're going to put an end to that stupid shit. I'm going to lead through love and intelligence. And that strength, that power and strength of our American diversity. With my cabinet of female alpha leaders will bring a nation of prosperity, which is what we want. We don't want a rich nation. We want a nation that's prosperous. And you measure a nation's prosperity by the lack of hunger, the lack of poverty, the lack of homelessness. Heard a report the other day where 100 of the top billionaires, I go, we have that many billionaires in this nation that there's a top 100? And we have hunger and poverty and despair? I don't understand it. So, my fix for Social Security, raising the cap. Simple, clean, non-confrontational. There should be no question that is a solution. That's it. That's a solution right there. Homelessness, hunger, easy fix. I'm going to tax the churches. If you run a church, a mega church, and you are promoting political content, you're not a church. You're an arm of a political party, and you're subject to being taxed. So we're going to do an audit, go back 10, 20 years, to see which churches have been promoting political views. Either way, I don't care which side, both. And you will pay taxes. They will be taxed. And those funds, that money is going to go directly to end homelessness, to end hunger. Because those things that they hate, we're going to make them pay for. Billionaires hate the crime. We're going to make them pay for it. We're going to use their guidance and their love to fix that problem by making them pay for it. There is no sense that a mother of three, a postal worker, a mechanic, a landscaper pay more in taxes than the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. Doesn't make any sense, and it's not going to continue. And I know I piss a lot of the beta boy bitches. Yes, Native American, it's in my blood. I have Taino blood, which is a native tribe that was in all the southeastern United States. So yes, I have native blood in my blood. Trumpy boy. God bless you. God bless the American people. Thank you, bro. We're closing in on 1 million views. 1 million views thanks to you guys. How many? Look, we're at 771 views just with this message of love and wanting to empower you, not criminalize you. Give you all your rights, not minimize your rights. Leadership through love and intelligence instead of ignorance and hatred. I'm George Dallara. I want to be your next president. It's crazy and impossible. Crazy and impossible because I cannot buy the presidency like is required in America. I'm not going to tiptoe it. American presidency is purchased. It's bought. So if you guys want a president to represent you, for the first time ever, a president who has your blood in his DNA, no matter who you are, find a way to make this happen. I'm doing my part. I'm voicing my concerns. I'm telling you we can do better, and I'm giving you solutions that none of either party has even put out at this point. One wants to go back to the way things were, and this one wants to blow everything up and impose dictatorship. Neither one has solutions. Neither one has an optional plan, like I'm proposing to you, the American people. A plan of leadership through love and intelligence instead of ignorance and hatred. The peace president just changed the name of the department that defends us to the Department of War. Bark, bark, bark. If that's not an example of beta boy bitch barking, I don't know what is. Department of War. And in the same breath said that he was going to send in troops to Chicago, an American city. Instead of sending funding and resources and let them empower those communities and those cities and end the crime and put police stations in those corners where there is crime, where the problems are, give them the funding to do that. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to send in the military and treat people like criminals because we's bad boy bitches. Fear. We fear everything. They're afraid of everyone, especially women. You ladies are who they fear most and who they're after. So let's not let that happen. Let's empower. Let's use love and intelligence instead of ignorance and hatred for fellow humanity, for fellow human beings, for fellow Americans. I love every one of you. I don't care the color of your skin. I don't care how you came into the country. I care that you love this country. That's the only thing that matters. God bless you. God bless the American people. I've gone again way too far, much longer than I wanted, but I couldn't sleep if I didn't tell you. Once again, I had a dream. I woke up in the Oval Office. This time, I mean, it's crazy and it is going to upset some of you, but in this dream, I was working on making Puerto Rico the 51st state, giving it full statehood. And, this is the crazy one, I was buying Cuba. I was buying Cuba. Number one, because it's a natural defensive barrier to the entire southeastern United States. Would go a long way to protecting all that coast from drugs, from any sort of attack, and would bring freedom to a nation that is the most beautiful island on the planet. A nation whose unknown, untold resources have never been tapped because it's an autocratic dictatorship fueled by ignorance and hatred. So that was my dream. That was my dream. Puerto Rico, the 51st state, and I love my Puerto Rican brothers and sisters. Everybody thinks I'm Puerto Rican, and to tell you the truth, over the years, I haven't corrected people who've thought I was Puerto Rican because I take a tremendous amount of pride in being compared to the Puerto Rican people. I have Puerto Rican brothers and sisters. And I don't know the land of my roots because of autocratic dictatorship. That's it. Autocratic dictatorship. Because there is no communism in Cuba. There is no socialism in Cuba. It's autocratic dictatorship. La ley del embudo. The law of the funnel. Big for the people at the top and nothing scrapped for the people at the bottom. And that's what is happening here. That's what they want to institute here. That law of the funnel. Only for the rich, and they're choking and cutting off what little's been dripping down to the bottom. So we're going to reverse the funnel. We're going to reverse the funnel. God bless you. God bless the American people. We the people. Crazy and impossible. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy and impossible. And a poor black brown, Latino could want to rise to president of a nation where you can only buy the presidency. It's crazy. It's crazy and impossible, but you know what? This is the only country where that can happen. This is the only nation on the planet where crazy and impossible can become real. That is the nation we were. We built big things. We went to the moon. We built giant warships to defend us, not to create war. Let's get back to that. Let's get back to American ingenuity. Let's get back to American innovation. And that can only come through the melting pot of God's diversity. We the people, baby. We the people. We the people. I love you. I love every single one of you. Los quiero, los adoro. God bless every single one of you. God bless you. Los adoro. Every single one of you. I adore you. We the people. I'm Jorge de Lara, George de Lara. Not a billionaire, not a millionaire, not a politician. I'm just like you. Just like you, someone who has fought my entire life to lift myself up by my bootstraps, only to have the bootstraps cut at every opportunity. But I love you, and I love my country, and I hate seeing what's happening. I lived it. I've seen it. I saw it before. I experienced it. I come from the last group of morons who idolized a slimy Russian admiring dictator and lost everything. And to this day, the Cuban people still, because of all the groups that I'm in, the only one that I get any kind of negative feedback and the same old ignorant tropes that they throw out is the Cuban Roots group. Not all of them, handful, just a couple. Overwhelming. It's beautiful and supportive, but they are those ignorant little dictator lovers that don't understand freedom, don't understand democracy, don't understand what is happening because of blind, toxic fanaticism. And I know. I love you guys. Bill, Tony, Miriam, I love you. John, I love you. John Sunshine, if that's not just beautiful, I don't know what is. I love you guys. I love every single one of you. And please continue, share my words. Share the words of independent voices, independent Americans who know we can do better, who know we deserve better. God bless you. God bless the American people. We the people, baby. We the people are the rightful masters of both the courts and the Congress. All right, hold on. They want me to verify this nonsense here. There you go. I love you. I love you. I love you. We the people. American freedom. American democracy. Ain't nothing better. Crazy and impossible. I'm George de Lara. I want to be your next president. Let's make it happen. Doesn't have to be me. It could be your mom, your dad, your sister. A single mom who's raised 3 kids. A grandfather, a father, an aunt, an auntie. A grandma who sacrificed for the greater good out of just love. And that's what this is. I don't want anything out of this. I don't even want to be president more than 4 years just because of my age. I want to be that bridge to you guys, to the younger generation who understand freedom and democracy. Yes, sir, John. I hear you, brother. I hear you. And it's not about being a Christian. There's nothing wrong with being a Christian. There's nothing wrong with being a Republican. There's a lot wrong with following these people. These are bad people. They've hijacked the Republican Party. I remember what Republican is. I know what true Republican is. I know. I grew up listening to people like Barry Goldwater. I voted for Ronald Reagan. It's about American freedom and what's best for the country. In hindsight, I shouldn't have voted for Reagan because, and I still believe to a certain degree that Reagan was conned to a certain degree. I think he was already a little, little seed down, and he literally believed that bullshit of the trickle down, like giving more is going to trickle down. I think he literally believed that. Poor guy, So I don't really blame him. It was the malevolence around him that festered, and then when we were attacked on September 11th, that malevolence saw that fear was a powerful commodity. Fear was profitable, was gold. And they began to fester it and make you fear your neighbor and fear the brown guy and fear everybody. And it got boiled to the point where we are now, where we're having people who've been part of your lives get snatched and taken out instead of empowering them. We the people, God bless you guys. I'm George Delara. I want to be your next president. Not a billionaire, not a millionaire, not a politician, regular American like you. And I challenge you to find someone you know. Maybe it's you. Come out of your post. Say that you want to be the next president. Show Americans that we are not going to be silent. That we want to say in our government. Because we are the governance. Not a president, not a Senate, not a Congress. We the people. And the power is in the vote, and that's why they're after it. God bless you guys. Crazy and impossible.